What if the life you're living right now is not the result of luck, timing, or talent, but the result of invisible mental instructions you've been running on autopilot? What if the ceiling you keep hitting isn't real, and the limits you feel are simply outdated code in your mind? Right now, in this moment, there is a version of you who already thinks differently, chooses differently, and lives at a higher level of clarity, confidence, and control. The question is not whether that version exists. The question is whether you are ready to become them. Most people try to change their circumstances. High achievers change their strategies. But the top 1% change the way reality responds to them. In this audiobook, you will discover how your thoughts are not just reactions to the world. They are instructions to it. If you're ready to stop reacting to life and start engineering it from the inside out, you're in the right place. And before we go any further, take a moment to like this audiobook and subscribe to this channel. Here, you receive weekly motivational and mindset-shifting content designed to accelerate your growth, sharpen your edge, and help you operate at your highest level consistently. Now, let's begin. Introduction. Welcome to Engineering Your Reality with Quantum Mindset Shifts. This is not a motivational pep talk. This is a mental recalibration. By the end of this audiobook, you will no longer see yourself, your challenges, or your future the same way again. You will understand how to consciously reshape your identity, redirect your emotional energy, and align your daily actions with a higher version of yourself so results begin to follow naturally. You'll learn how to break free from subconscious patterns that keep you repeating the same outcomes. You'll gain tools to regulate your inner state under pressure, build unshakable focus, and embody the mindset of someone who creates opportunities instead of chasing them. What sets this audiobook apart is simple. We don't focus on surface-level positivity. We work at the level where change actually happens: identity, perception, and emotional conditioning. Each chapter is designed to be practical, reflective, and transformational. You will be guided through mindset shifts, real-world applications, and inner exercises that compound over time, creating lasting results, not temporary motivation. To maximize your progress, every chapter comes with a companion workbook available for you to download. These workbooks are designed to help you apply what you learn, reflect deeply, and turn insight into action. They are free to use, and if you choose to support this work through a donation, you help make more content like this possible. This audiobook is brought to you by Top 1% Audiobook. It's created for those who refuse to live on autopilot and are committed to mastering themselves. As you listen, commit fully. Listen with intention. Apply what resonates. And allow yourself to step into the role of architect rather than observer. Now, take a breath. Chapter 1. The Quantum Truth About Reality Creation. Part 1. A New Way to See Reality. Before anything in your external world changes, something internal must shift, not your circumstances, not your environment, your perception. Most people believe reality is fixed, solid, and happening to them. But in truth, reality is responsive. It reacts to how you observe it, how you interpret it, and how you emotionally engage with it. This chapter will challenge the assumption that you are merely reacting to life. Instead, you will begin to see yourself as an active participant in shaping outcomes. Not through wishful thinking, but through conscious awareness of how your mind, emotions, and beliefs influence what unfolds around you. Once you understand this, personal growth stops feeling like force. It becomes alignment. Part 2. The Observer Effect and Personal Reality. In quantum science, there is a principle known as the observer effect. It suggests that the act of observation influences the behavior of particles. In simple terms, what is observed behaves differently than what is not. Now apply this concept inward. Your attention shapes your experience. What you consistently focus on becomes amplified. What you emotionally react to becomes reinforced. If you constantly observe lack, struggle, or limitation, your mind organizes behavior to confirm it. If you observe opportunity, growth, and possibility, your perception expands to notice paths you once ignored. This is not magic. This is mental conditioning. Your brain filters millions of pieces of information every second. It only allows through what aligns with your beliefs and expectations. In this way, you are already engineering your reality. The question is whether you are doing it consciously or unconsciously. Part 3. Energy, emotion, and internal frequency. Everything you experience is filtered through emotion. Emotion is not weakness. Emotion is data. Your emotional state influences how you think. Your thinking influences how you act. Your actions influence the results you experience. When you operate from stress, fear, or resentment, your decisions become reactive. When you operate from clarity, confidence, and intention, your decisions become strategic. Think of your emotional state as a signal you broadcast. It shapes how you show up. It shapes how others respond to you. It shapes the momentum you carry into situations. This is why two people can face the same challenge and experience completely different outcomes. Their internal state is different. Their frequency is different. Their interpretation is different. Mastering your emotional state is not about suppressing feelings. It is about understanding them and choosing your response. Part 4. Beliefs as invisible instructions. Beliefs are not just thoughts you agree with. They are assumptions you live from. A belief quietly answers questions like, what am I capable of? What do I deserve? What is possible for me? Once a belief is formed, your mind looks for evidence to confirm it. Contradictory evidence is ignored. Supporting evidence is amplified. If you believe success requires struggle, you will subconsciously create friction. If you believe you are not enough, you will hesitate at critical moments. If you believe growth is possible, you will notice opportunities that others overlook. Beliefs are invisible instructions directing your behavior. Change the belief, and behavior changes naturally. Force behavior without addressing belief, and change never lasts. Part 5. Mindset as the operating system. Your mindset is not a personality trait. It is an operating system. Just as software determines how hardware performs, mindset determines how your skills, intelligence, and effort are expressed. Two people can have the same abilities. One moves forward consistently, the other stays stuck. The difference is not talent. It is internal programming. An outdated operating system produces errors. A limited mindset produces resistance, doubt, and self-sabotage. Upgrading your mindset does not mean pretending everything is positive. It means becoming aware of default patterns and consciously choosing better ones. Awareness is the update. Choice is the installation. Repetition is the integration. Part 6. Real-world mental architects. Consider individuals who consistently rise after setbacks. They do not deny difficulty. They reinterpret it. They ask different questions. What is this teaching me? How can this strengthen me? What opportunity exists here? These questions shift attention. Attention shifts emotion. Emotion shifts action. Over time, this compounds. Athletes visualize performance before execution. Leaders regulate emotion under pressure. Entrepreneurs reframe failure as feedback. These are not extraordinary people. They are disciplined observers of their inner world. They understand that controlling reaction is more powerful than controlling circumstances. Part 7. From reaction to creation. Most people live in reaction mode. They wait for circumstances to change before they feel empowered. Creators reverse this pattern. They shift internally first. They choose meaning before outcome. This does not guarantee ease. It guarantees direction. When you take responsibility for your internal state, you reclaim agency. You stop waiting. You start designing. This is the foundation of engineering your reality, not control. Alignment. Part 8. Guided reflection and workbook integration. Now is the moment to pause and turn inward. In your companion workbook for this chapter, you will be guided through a belief and identity reflection. You will examine patterns you have accepted as truth. You will identify emotional triggers that shape your responses. You will begin mapping the internal lens through which you experience life. This is not about judgment. It is about awareness. Awareness is the first real shift. Without it, nothing changes. With it, everything becomes possible. Take your time with the workbook. Honesty creates clarity. Clarity creates power. Part 9. Closing integration. As you move forward, remember this. You are not here to control the world. You are here to master your response to it. When you change how you observe, interpret, and emotionally engage with life, reality responds differently. This chapter is not about instant transformation. It is about foundation. In the next chapter, we will go deeper into identity and how your self-concept determines the ceiling of your results. For now, carry this awareness with you. Notice what you focus on. Notice how you react. Notice the stories you tell yourself. Because the moment you become conscious of these patterns, you step into the role of architect rather than observer. Chapter 2. Identity is the operating system. Part 1. The invisible framework behind every decision. At the center of your life is not your strategy, it's your identity. Before you set a goal, before you build a habit, before you change a behavior, your identity quietly answers one question. Who am I? This isn't about your name, your title, or your resume. This is about the internal story that shapes how you see yourself. Your self-concept creates boundaries for what you believe is possible. And no matter how big your goals are, you will never outperform the story you believe about yourself. Part 2. Identity determines your ceiling. You may know this feeling. You start a new goal strong. You feel motivated, focused, clear. But somewhere along the way, momentum fades. Not because you didn't care, but because the goal was in conflict with your subconscious identity. If you see yourself as someone who always struggles, you will resist ease. If you see yourself as not consistent, you'll find ways to break your streak. If you believe success isn't for people like me, you'll subconsciously self-sabotage. This is not weakness. This is programming. And unless you shift your identity, you will always feel like you're fighting against yourself. Part 3. The power of I am statements. Every time you say, I am, you are programming your identity. I am overwhelmed. I am lazy. I am just not good with money. These may feel like descriptions, but they are declarations. Your brain doesn't just register them as opinions. It takes them as instructions. Over time, these phrases shape your behavior, your emotional state, and even your results. Now imagine the shift if those same statements became, I am calm under pressure. I am a finisher. I am becoming a powerful creator. It may not feel true yet, but spoken with intention and consistency, identity begins to shift. And when identity shifts, behavior follows. Part 4. Subconscious programming. How the script was written. Your subconscious programming was mostly installed before the age of 7. At that age, your brain was in a hyper-receptive state, absorbing the world without filters. What you saw, what you heard, what you emotionally experienced, it all became part of your internal script. Maybe you grew up around struggle and internalized that success was rare. Maybe you were told to play small and internalized that visibility was dangerous. Maybe you failed early on and decided, I'm not cut out for this. These decisions become invisible identity blueprints. But here's the truth. If it was programmed in, it can be rewritten. Part 5. Upgrading identity from the inside out. You do not have to wait to achieve a goal to start thinking like the person who achieves it. You can begin now. Start asking, how does my future self think? How do they respond under pressure? What standards do they hold? What habits do they refuse to compromise? When you begin thinking and behaving from your future identity now, results accelerate. You're no longer acting from your past. You're building from your potential. This is not about pretending. This is about embodying the next version of you before the world confirms it. Part 6. The role of environment in identity. Your environment reinforces identity. The people you spend time with, the systems you use, the space you operate in. All of it either pulls you back into an old identity or supports the creation of a new one. If your environment reflects chaos, you'll feel scattered. If your environment reflects order, you'll feel focused. If your circle normalizes growth, you'll stretch. So ask yourself, does my environment match the identity I'm building? Or does it reflect the one I'm leaving behind? Part 7. Future Self-Activation. The future self is not a fantasy. It is a direction. And the more vividly you define that version of yourself, the faster you align with it. Give your future self a name, a voice, a posture, a standard. Visualize how they handle hard conversations, how they show up when no one's watching, how they recover from setbacks. Then start becoming them today. You are not waiting for permission. You are stepping into alignment. Part 8. Guided Reflection and Workbook Integration. In your companion workbook, you will find the Future Self Blueprint. It's a structured space for you to define who you are becoming. You'll identify old I am statements that no longer serve you. You'll rewrite them with clarity and conviction. You'll map out daily behaviors that reinforce the upgraded identity you've chosen. This is where the shift becomes real, not in theory. In practice, identity changes through repetition, reflection, and reinforcement. The workbook is your daily mirror. Use it, return to it, watch yourself evolve. Part 9. Closing Integration. You are not your past performance. You are not your worst day. You are not the version of you that gave up before. You are the architect of your next identity. The more clearly you define who you're becoming, the easier it is to let go of who you no longer are. In the next chapter, we'll explore how to shift the inner lens through which you see the world. So you stop distorting your future through the lens of your past. But for now, take your future self seriously. Give them form, give them voice, then become them. Not someday. Today. Chapter 3. The Power of Perception. Rewiring Your Inner Lens. Part 1. You don't see reality. You see a filter. Every second, your brain is bombarded with information. Sights, sounds, sensations, emotions, words, memories. It's too much to process consciously, so your brain filters it. It decides what to focus on, what to ignore, what to amplify. But here's the part most people miss. The filter is not objective. It's based on your beliefs. This means you don't see reality as it is. You see reality as you are. Part 2. The Mind Filter Effect. Your brain creates a shortcut called confirmation bias. It looks for evidence that supports what you already believe. It discards evidence that doesn't. If you believe people can't be trusted, you'll notice betrayal. If you believe opportunity is scarce, you'll miss openings right in front of you. If you believe you always get overlooked, you'll interpret neutral situations as rejection. The brain isn't trying to hurt you. It's trying to protect you from overload. But without conscious awareness, your filter becomes a cage. It shows you a world you don't want and makes you believe it's the only one that exists. Part 3. How limiting perceptions shape behavior. Think of a time you hesitated, not because you weren't capable, but because something in you said it won't work. That wasn't logic. That was perception. If you perceive risk as danger, you avoid it. If you perceive effort as pointless, you give up early. If you perceive feedback as judgment, you resist it. These perceptions silently guide your behavior. But what if you could change the lens? What if you could upgrade the filter? Part 4. Spotting Hidden Cognitive Biases. Your mind has shortcuts. They help you process quickly. but they don't always lead to clarity. Here are a few biases that may be shaping your perception. The negativity bias, where you focus more on what's wrong than what's right. The spotlight effect, where you believe people notice your flaws more than they actually do. The fixed mindset bias, where you assume abilities are permanent and can't be improved. The scarcity bias, where you overvalue what's missing and undervalue what's possible. You don't eliminate biases by force. You outgrow them with awareness. Part 5. Upgrading from limitation to possibility. Possibility-based perception doesn't ignore reality. It expands it. It asks, what else could this mean? What am I not seeing? What would my future self do with this challenge? When you see differently, you think differently. When you think differently, you act differently. And when you act differently, your results begin to shift. This is not positive thinking. This is perceptual power. You are training your mind to scan for solutions instead of threats, to look for opportunity instead of obstacles. Part 6. Vision exercises for expansive thinking. Close your eyes. Visualize a version of yourself without the limits you've been carrying. What does this version believe about the world? What do they believe about people? What do they believe about possibility? Now, bring to mind a current challenge. Through your old lens, how does this look? Overwhelming? Hopeless? Unfair? Now shift the lens. Ask, what if this is preparing me for something greater? What if this is the exact pressure I need to grow? What if this is not happening to me, but for me? This simple reframe changes emotional state. An emotional state changes access to insight. Do this daily. Your filter will begin to change. Part 7. Guided reflection and workbook integration. In your Chapter 3 workbook, you'll complete a limiting beliefs audit. You'll uncover the patterns your mind has been confirming without question. You'll challenge those beliefs. You'll reframe those perceptions. And you'll consciously choose a lens that reflects your next level, not your past one. The workbook also includes a perception reframe tool. It's a practical way to pause when emotion rises and ask the right questions to shift your state. Use it in real time. Train your brain to respond instead of react. Over time, your dominant perception will be possibility, not limitation. Part 8. Closing integration. You're not stuck because of your potential. You're stuck because of your perception. The moment you challenge the filter, you start seeing doors where you once saw walls. You are not here to repeat old visions. You are here to create new ones. In the next chapter, we'll explore emotional energy, how your feelings shape your frequency, and how to regulate your state like a master. For now, do the work. Audit the beliefs, rewrite the lens, and begin seeing not what is, but what's possible. Chapter 4. Thought, Energy, and Emotional Frequency. Part 1. The energy behind every thought. Every thought you think, every feeling you feel, carries energy. Not metaphorically, literally. Your body is a field of electrical signals. Your mind, a transmitter and receiver. The thoughts you dwell on generate a vibration, and the emotions you attach to those thoughts amplify that vibration. This isn't spirituality alone. It's physics. And when your internal energy aligns with what you desire externally, manifestation is no longer effort. It becomes resonance. Part 2. Understanding the emotional vibration scale. Emotions are not random. They follow a spectrum from low frequency to high. At the bottom, shame, guilt, fear, hopelessness. Heavy, contracting, constrictive. In the middle, frustration, overwhelm. Doubt. Slower, inconsistent, tiring. At the top, gratitude, joy, confidence, love. Expansive, creative, magnetic. When you live at the bottom, you attract confirmation of your fears. When you rise to the top, you attract confirmation of your strength. This is the emotional vibration scale. The higher you rise emotionally, the more aligned your energy becomes with what you want to create. Part 3. Your state determines your signal. Your energetic state acts like a signal. It tells the world who you are. It tells your body how to respond. It tells your brain what to focus on. This is why someone vibrating at anger sees confrontation. Someone vibrating at gratitude sees possibility. You are constantly broadcasting. The question is not if, but what. So the work is to become intentional, to choose your signal rather than react to your surroundings. Part 4. How feelings shape physical outcomes. Emotion isn't just internal. It impacts your physiology. Stress releases cortisol and tightens your muscles. Gratitude releases dopamine and softens your system. Emotion affects how you speak, how you breathe, how you interpret challenges. Emotion impacts decision quality. When you operate from fear, you hesitate or overcorrect. When you operate from calm power, you act with clarity. This is why emotional frequency doesn't just affect how you feel, it affects the results you create. Part 5. Why high-frequency states accelerate manifestation. Manifestation isn't about asking the universe. It's about aligning with what you're asking for. If you want peace, you must embody peace. If you want abundance, you must vibrate from sufficiency, not scarcity. When your inner state matches the energy of your goal, you become a match for the opportunities that bring it to life. High frequency clears resistance. High frequency accelerates clarity. High frequency opens channels you never saw before. That's not magic, it's coherence. Part 6. Emotional regulation is a manifestation superpower. You can't control every trigger, but you can train how you respond. Emotional regulation is not suppression. It's awareness and choice. When a low-frequency emotion arises, pause. Name it, feel it, don't feed it. Then ask, what would my elevated self choose right now? What energy would they lead with? What lens would they look through? This doesn't mean you never feel low. It means you don't stay low by default. Emotional intelligence isn't just about relationships. It's about reality creation. Part 7. Mood mapping and self-assessment. One powerful practice is mood mapping. At set points in your day, morning, midday, and evening, pause. Ask yourself, what am I feeling right now? Then ask, where is this on the emotional scale? This isn't about judgment. It's about data. Track your dominant states over the week. Notice patterns. Notice what elevates you and what drains you. Awareness creates leverage because you can't shift what you don't see. Part 8. Daily energy rituals. High performers don't leave energy to chance. They engineer it. Here are a few energy rituals to integrate daily. Morning, breathwork, or intention setting. Connect with elevated emotion before the world interferes. Midday, grounding break. Walk, stretch, breathe, realign. Evening, release, practice, reflect, let go. Prime tomorrow's energy tonight. Energy doesn't require time. It requires intention. Rituals are reminders of who you are becoming and who you refuse to remain. Part 9. Workbook integration and practice. In your Chapter 4 workbook, you'll find 2 tools. The Mood Mapping Log, a space to track emotional states across the week. This helps you identify trends and design emotional upgrades. And the Energy Ritual Builder, a customizable framework to design your own daily practices that support high-vibration living. Use these tools. Personalize them. Keep them visible. When energy becomes a daily decision, you no longer chase alignment. You live. Part 10. Closing integration. You are not just a thinker. You are a transmitter. You are not just reacting. You are broadcasting. And the energy you live in most consistently is what you attract, reinforce, and multiply. From this point forward, don't just ask, what do I want? Ask, what energy must I embody to receive it? Because when your frequency leads, manifestation follows. In Chapter 5, we'll dive into the illusion of time and how to collapse timelines so you can live more intentionally now. But first, master this moment. Master your energy. Master your frequency. Chapter 5. Time is a construct designing reality beyond the clock. Part 1. Rethinking time. We've been conditioned to believe that time is linear, that progress must unfold step by step, that success takes years, that change must be slow. But what if that's just a collective agreement? What if time isn't a line, but a field? And what if you could access different versions of your reality, not by waiting, but by aligning? Part 2. Quantum time and the power of now. In quantum theory, time is not fixed. It bends, it stretches, it even collapses. All possible futures already exist in the field of potential. The version of you who has already become who you want to be. It's real. But you don't get there by force. You get there by alignment. And alignment happens in the now. The present moment is your only point of power. Because only now can you think, choose, and feel. When you delay action for a future moment, you delay transformation. But when you activate your future identity now, you collapse the timeline. Part 3. Overcoming the illusion of linear growth. Linear thinking says, first I must do A, then B, then C, and only then will I reach C. Quantum thinking asks, who must I become now to live from Z? This shift breaks the time trap. You are no longer a slave to when. You become a master of who. Progress does not have to take forever. Breakthroughs don't follow a calendar. They follow alignment. They follow frequency. They follow choice. Part 4. Timeline jumping explained. Timeline jumping is not science fiction. It's self-reinvention. Imagine every possible version of you already exists. Each one lives on a different timeline. The question is, which one are you tuning into? When you shift your thoughts, emotions, and actions to match a higher version of you, you jump timelines. You stop living from memory. You start living from vision. That version of you already exists. And your job is not to become them later. It's to start broadcasting their signal now. Part 5. The Identity Bridge Technique. To collapse the gap between who you are and who you want to be, you need a bridge. Ask yourself, what are 5 qualities of my future self? What do they believe? What habits do they keep? What energy do they carry? What do they no longer tolerate? Now, choose one of those qualities and practice it today. Act as if. Speak as if. Make decisions as if. Each time you do, the timelines converge. The future moves toward you faster because you are moving toward it deliberately. Part 6. The Trap of Someday. Someday is a mental prison. It delays power. It disconnects presence. It denies responsibility. Someday, I'll be confident. Someday, I'll have time. Someday, I'll feel ready. But someday never arrives. The only moment you ever own is now. And when you make now powerful, you don't wait for a better life. You activate it. Part 7. Designing reality from the present. What if you could design your next 12 months? By how you choose to show up in the next 12 minutes. You can. Every reality you seek, freedom, clarity, momentum, is accessed through the decisions you make right here. You don't need perfect conditions. You need alignment. Who are you deciding to be now? What would that version of you do next? The more present you become, the more fluid time becomes. Part 8. Workbook Integration. Time Expansion Planning. In your Chapter 5 workbook, you'll find the Time Expansion Planning worksheet. It helps you map your current identity, your desired identity, and the daily bridges to collapse the gap. You'll also list limiting beliefs around time, such as there's never enough or change takes too long, and reframe them with expansive truths. This is about reclaiming your power over time. No more waiting, no more delay. The time is now. Part 9. Closing integration. You are not behind. You are exactly where your next decision begins. Time is not your enemy. It's your tool. And the moment you stop measuring your life by the clock, you start designing it by consciousness. From this moment forward, ask yourself not how long will it take, but how fully am I living right now? Because when you collapse the inner gap, you collapse the outer timeline. In the next chapter, we'll explore how to visualize your future with quantum-level intentions, so it doesn't just inspire you, it begins to manifest through you. But for now, own the now. The future is listening. Chapter 6. The Science of Visualization and Quantum Intention. Part 1. What you see shapes what you become. Your brain doesn't know the difference between something vividly imagined and something actually experienced. That's not a metaphor. That's neuroscience. When you visualize a specific outcome with emotion, you activate the same neural pathways as if it were already happening. You begin to train your brain and body to expect it, prepare for it, and move toward it automatically. Visualization isn't wishful thinking. It's mental programming. Part 2. The brain's pattern recognition system. Your subconscious mind is always scanning for what's familiar. It filters information. It highlights what aligns with your beliefs and internal images. When you rehearse success visually, consistently, and with clarity, your brain begins to accept it as normal. You see different opportunities. You act with more certainty. You show up with more conviction. This is how visualization rewires your reality from the inside out. It doesn't just inspire, it installs. Part 3. Visual scripting versus passive daydreaming. There's a big difference between random daydreaming and intentional visual scripting. Passive daydreaming is scattered and reactive. It feels good, but it doesn't rewire anything. Visual scripting is deliberate. It has structure. It involves clarity, emotion, and repetition. You choose the scene. You feel the moment. You rehearse the behavior. This is the key to priming your subconscious. Because your subconscious responds best to emotion and repetition, especially when paired with vivid imagery. Part 4. Quantum Intention. Directing energy through focus. In quantum physics, your intention is a directive. Where focus goes, energy flows. When you combine visualization with quantum intention, you send a signal into the field, a signal shaped by clarity, emotion, and belief. That signal influences what you attract. It impacts how you interpret your environment, and it changes how you're perceived. This is more than mindset. It's energetic alignment. You become magnetic, not just because you want something, but because you are broadcasting its frequency. Part 5. Designing your visualization practice. To make visualization powerful, it must be a practice. Here are the pillars. 1. Clarity. What do you want to see? Where are you? Who are you with? What are you doing? 2. Emotion. Feel the joy, pride, confidence, or gratitude as if it's real, right now. 3. Detail. Engage all senses. What do you hear? Smell? Touch? 4. Repetition. Daily is best, even 5 minutes. 5. Embodiment. End your visualization by stepping into your day as if it's already done. This trains your nervous system to match your desired future. Part 6. Common mistakes to avoid. Don't visualize from lack. If you visualize what you want while feeling the absence of it, you reinforce the gap. Don't be vague. General goals create general results. Don't do it once and forget it. This is about consistency, not perfection. And most importantly, don't skip the emotion. Emotion is what makes it stick. Part 7. The Future Snapshot Exercise. In your Chapter 6 workbook, you'll complete the Future Snapshot Exercise. You'll write a vivid one-page description of your life 1 year from now, as if it already happened. Describe your environment, your emotions, your achievements. your relationships. Make it a scene. Make it feel real. This becomes your visual script. Read it daily, or better record yourself reading it and listen back. Repetition makes it familiar. Familiarity makes it believable. Belief makes it magnetic. PA Part 8. The 7-Day Visualization Challenge. You'll also find a 7-day challenge in your workbook. Each day, you'll practice 5 minutes of focused visualization using the framework in this chapter. Each session builds emotional muscle, deepens clarity, and strengthens alignment. You'll track your energy, insights, and emotional state after each visualization. The goal is not perfection. The goal is presence. The more present you are during visualization, the more powerfully it programs your mind. PA Part 9. Closing Integration. You already use visualization. Every fear, every doubt, every worst-case scenario you rehearse, those are visualizations. The question is, are you using it consciously? Now you can. Visualization isn't fantasy, it's strategy. It's a way to step into the frequency of your future. Now. So as you move forward, don't just see what's real, see what's possible, and rehearse it until it becomes who you are. In the next chapter, we'll explore emotional alchemy, how to turn triggers into fuel and make your inner world unshakable. But for now, close your eyes and see what you're ready to become. Chapter 7. Emotional Alchemy. Transmuting Triggers into Power. Part 1. The hidden power inside your emotions. Every emotion you feel holds energy. It can either deplete you or activate you. The difference lies in what you do with it. Most people avoid emotional discomfort. They suppress it, deny it, or distract from it. But high-level transformation doesn't come from avoiding emotion. It comes from alchemizing it, turning pain into fuel, turning fear into clarity, turning resistance into expansion. Part 2. What is emotional alchemy? Emotional alchemy is the process of transforming reactive energy into conscious power. It's not about pretending to be positive. It's about processing fully and choosing intentionally. Instead of seeing anger as a problem, see it as a boundary asking to be honored. Instead of seeing fear as weakness, see it as a call for alignment. Instead of seeing shame as failures, see it as a sign to reclaim your worth. Emotions are messengers, and when you stop fighting them, they deliver breakthroughs. Part 3. Why resistance is a gateway to expansion. Have you ever noticed that the moment you commit to growth, resistance shows up? You feel stuck, you feel triggered, you question everything. That resistance is not a sign to stop. It's a sign that you're meeting the edge of your current identity. And just beyond that edge is expansion. The key is not to push through forcefully. It's to understand what the resistance is asking for: attention, honesty, realignment. Because when you meet resistance with curiosity, you begin to dissolve it. Part 4. The core emotional energies: fear, shame, and doubt. These three emotions, fear, shame, and doubt, often sit at the root of our biggest limitations. Fear says, "What if I fail?" Shame says, "What if I'm not enough?" Doubt says, "What if it's not possible?" These aren't just thoughts, they're energies. They live in your body. They speak through your nervous system. They block creativity and collapse confidence, but they are not final. When you learn to face, feel, and free these energies, you gain access to power you didn't know you had. Part 5. How to dissolve emotional charge. Step 1. Awareness. Pause when triggered. Name the emotion. Step 2. Ownership. Ask, what story is this emotion attached to? Where did it originate? Is it true or just familiar? Step 3. Expression. Use safe and intentional tools to release the charge. Scripting, breathwork, movement, voice. Don't just analyze the emotion, let it move. Emotion is energy in motion. When you allow it to move, it loses control over you. Part 6. Breathwork for emotional reset. Breath is the bridge between mind and body. When emotion overwhelms, return to the breath. Try this simple pattern. Inhale for 4 seconds. Hold for 4. Exhale for 8. Repeat for 3 to 5 minutes. This calms the nervous system. It slows reactive thinking, and it gives your body the signal that you are safe. You don't think your way out of emotion. You breathe your way through it. Part 7. Scripting to reclaim inner power. Scripting is journaling with direction. Write out the emotional trigger. Describe how it made you feel. Acknowledge the story that surfaced. Then rewrite it. Example, old story, I failed, so I must not be good enough. New truth. This setback is data. I am still learning and growing stronger. This isn't about lying to yourself. It's about choosing a higher interpretation, because the words you write become the beliefs you reinforce. Part 8. Workbook Integration, Trigger Tracking and Emotional Shift Guide. In your Chapter 7 workbook, you'll find a trigger tracking tool. You'll log daily emotional spikes, what caused them, what emotions surfaced, and how you responded. Then you'll apply the Emotional Shift Guide. What was the original story? What's a more empowering truth? What action aligns with that truth? This process rewires your emotional patterns in real time. Use it daily to build mastery over your inner state. Part 9. Closing Integration. You are not here to avoid emotion. You are here to master it. You are here to turn discomfort into data, triggers into truth, emotion into elevation. When you stop seeing emotion as the enemy, you start using it as energy. That's emotional alchemy. And it's one of your greatest superpowers. In the next chapter, we'll explore the habits that reinforce your identities, so you don't just shift emotionally, but integrate your transformation into daily life. But for now, pause, breathe, and remember, the energy you avoid is the energy that's waiting to transform you. Chapter 8. Building Quantum Habits for Identity Reinforcement. Part 1. Habits are identity in motion. Every habit you build or break is shaping your identity, not just what you do, but who you believe you are. You don't become disciplined by trying harder. You become disciplined by doing what a disciplined person would do until your brain believes it. This is where true change begins. When your habits match your identity, transformation becomes effortless. When they don't, progress feels like a battle. Part 2. What makes a habit quantum-aligned? A quantum-aligned habit is not just about performance. It's about frequency. It's about energy. It's a habit that reinforces your future self, not your past conditioning. A quantum-aligned habit doesn't just check a box. It shifts how you think, feel, and operate. These habits aren't just physical actions. They're energetic signals. Each one says, "This is who I am. This is the level I live at. This is the version I've decided to become." Part 3. Your identity drives the habit, not the other way around. Too many people try to build habits by focusing on the outcome. They say, "I want to lose 20 pounds. I want to earn more. I want to be more consistent." But the real shift happens when the goal is identity-based. I am someone who prioritizes health. I am someone who creates value daily. I am someone who honors my word. When identity leads, habits follow. This is the power of building from the inside out. Part 4. The Habit Loop and Subconscious Reprogramming. Every habit has 3 parts: cue, routine, reward. Once a habit becomes subconscious, you no longer think about it. So the goal is to consciously design cues and routines that lead to identity reinforcement, not regression. Example: cue, wake up. Routine, meditate for 5 minutes. Reward, elevated emotion, clarity, focus. Over time, this loop embeds into your nervous system. You're no longer hoping to feel like your future self. You're rehearsing it daily. Part 5. Identity-based habit stacking. One powerful method is stacking new habits onto ones you already do. This is called habit stacking. Example, after I brush my teeth, I say my identity statement out loud. After I make my coffee, I visualize my future self for 60 seconds. After I finish work, I reflect on how I led with alignment today. By attaching habits to anchors that already exist, you remove friction and reinforce your new identity with ease. Part 6. Micro-rituals that shape frequency. You don't need an hour to shift who you are. You need a moment done with intention. Here are examples of micro-rituals that reinforce your quantum identity. 1. Breathwork for clarity before a key decision. 2. Journaling your I am statements every morning. 3. Standing in power posture before a meeting. 4. Gratitude rampages to elevate emotional frequency. 5. 3-minute visualizations before starting your day. Small rituals, big signal. These micro moments condition your mind and body to stay aligned with your next level self. Part 7. Designing a quantum habit ecosystem. Ask yourself, what is one habit I need to release that reflects my old self? What is one habit I can begin today that reflects who I'm becoming? Your environment matters too. Does your space support your elevation? Do your digital habits reflect your focus? Does your routine reflect your vision? Quantum habits are about coherence. Everything in your life begins to vibrate at the same frequency as the person you're becoming. Part 8. Workbook Integration, 30-Day Quantum Habit Tracker. In your Chapter 8 workbook, you'll find your 30-Day Quantum Habit Tracker. You'll choose 3 identity-based habits aligned with your future self. Each day, you'll track your consistency, your emotional state, and your energetic alignment. This isn't about perfection. It's about embodiment. The goal is not to get everything right. It's to become the person who stays committed, regardless. Use this tool to build momentum, self-trust, and powerful identity reinforcement. Part 9. Closing integration. Habits don't just create results. They create self-perception. Each time you act like your future self, your brain stops seeing them as separate. Over time, your subconscious catches up. Your identity stabilizes. Your transformation sticks. This is how you build from the inside out. So, from this moment forward, don't ask, what habit should I build? Ask, what version of me am I reinforcing? Because when identity leads, habit follows. In the next chapter, we'll explore the loop that controls your reality, how belief, thought, emotion, and behavior form the cycle that shapes your outcomes. But for now, start small. Start aligned and start building the version of you that's already waiting. Chapter 9. The Reality Loop. Belief gives, thought gives emotion, gives action, gives outcome. Part 1. The loop that shapes everything. Look closely at your life. Your results aren't random. They're repeating. They're patterns looped from your beliefs, thoughts, and emotional state. At the core of every success and every setback is a loop: belief, thought, emotion, action, outcome. And here's the secret. The outcome you experience reinforces the belief you started with. That's why change can feel hard, because most people try to change results without changing the loop. Part 2. The loop in action. Let's break it down. A belief is formed, maybe from childhood, a past experience, or society. That belief shapes how you think. Those thoughts shape how you feel. Your emotions drive your actions. And your actions create your outcomes, which then confirm your belief and start the loop again. Example: belief, I'm not good enough. Thought, why even try? Emotion, discouragement. Action, half-hearted effort or avoidance. Outcome, underperformance. Loop confirmed. Now it's your identity, unless you interrupt it. Part 3. Why most people stay stuck. Most people focus on the surface. They try to change their actions. They try to hustle harder. They set goals. But if the underlying belief doesn't change, the loop rebuilds itself. That's why willpower wears out. And that's why identity change must come first. Because when you upgrade the belief, the entire loop upgrades with it. Part 4. Disrupting the disempowering loop. So how do you break the cycle? Step 1. Become aware of the loop. What belief is behind the pattern? What's the dominant thought? How does it make you feel? What action does it trigger? Step 2. Question the belief. Is this true or just familiar? Is this belief mine or was it given to me? Step 3. Install a new belief, one that aligns with who you're becoming. This is the beginning of a new loop. And the more you reinforce it through thoughts, emotion, and action, the faster it replaces the old one. Part 5. Case study. Rewiring a disempowering loop. Let's take a real-world example. Someone wants to start a business. Old loop belief. I'm not cut out for this. Thought, I don't have what it takes. Emotion, doubt, and fear. Action, delays, procrastination, second-guessing. Outcome, no progress. Loop reinforced. Now, let's shift the loop. New belief. I am resourceful and learning fast. New thought. What's one action I can take today? New emotion, confidence, and curiosity. New action, research, outreach, momentum. New outcome, progress, feedback, growth, loop reinforced. Same person, different loop. New reality. PA. Part 6. Tools to realign the loop. Here are 3 tools you can use to shift your loop consciously. Tool 1. Belief journaling. Write your current belief. Challenge it. Replace it. Write the new belief daily until it feels normal. Tool 2. Thought reframing. Notice self-talk in the moment. Catch negative patterns. Reframe with power language. Tool 3. Emotional anchoring. Use breathwork, music, or memory to generate the emotion that matches your new loop before you take action. This creates internal alignment before you ask the external world to change. Part 7. Workbook integration. Reality Loop Rewire Journal. In your Chapter 9 workbook, you'll find the Reality Loop Rewire Journal. It's a daily practice where you identify the loop you're in, decode it, and rewrite it. You'll track your belief, your default thoughts, your emotional tone, your common actions, and your resulting outcomes. Then you'll write the new belief loop and practice stepping into it consciously. This is how you rewire your subconscious in real time. PA. Part 8. Closing integration. You are not stuck because of your potential. You're stuck because of your pattern. And patterns can be rewritten. The reality loop is not your enemy, it's your system. And once you understand it, you can use it to create extraordinary results. Because when belief aligns with thought, thought aligns with emotion. Emotion drives aligned action, and action leads to elevated outcomes. You've become the architect of your reality. In the next chapter, we'll take this even further, exploring how to embody your future self now, not as a fantasy, but as your most powerful state of being. But for now, pause, reflect, and ask yourself, what loop am I living in? And what loop am I ready to build? Chapter 10. Magnetizing the future with elevated emotion. Part 1. Your emotion is your frequency. You're not attracting what you want. You're attracting what you are. And what you are is defined by your dominant emotional state. Not once in a while. Not when it's convenient, but consistently. Emotion is energy in motion. When you embody elevated emotion like gratitude, joy, and certainty, you become magnetic. You become a match to the future you're creating. PA. Part 2. Why emotion is the secret ingredient in manifestation. You can visualize all day, but if it's not infused with emotion, it's empty. The universe responds to frequency, and frequency is driven by how you feel. Gratitude signals you already have it. Joy opens the nervous system to receive. Certainty collapses doubt and accelerates outcomes. So the more you rehearse the emotional signature of your desired future, the faster it begins to materialize. Part 3. What you feel now becomes what you create next. Let this sink in. You don't feel joy because the result comes. The result comes because you feel joy. You don't wait for confidence to succeed. You feel confident first, then act like it. This is emotional rehearsal, and it's one of the most overlooked but powerful creation tools available to you. Part 4. Emotional rehearsal. Train your body to believe it now. Close your eyes. Imagine your future self fully embodied. See the vision, feel the moment. Now go deeper. What emotion are you living in? What does certainty feel like in your body? What does success taste like? What does peace sound like? When your body begins to feel it as real, before it's visible, you've just become a vibrational match. That's when manifestation accelerates. Part 5. Magnetic anchoring. Embody the energy of what you want. Create anchors that bring you into elevated states instantly. This could be a song that lifts your energy, a phrase you repeat with power, a physical movement like power posture or breath work, a memory of a moment you felt limitless. Use these anchors daily, especially before making decisions, visualizing, or taking bold action. Your energy will no longer be accidental. It will be intentional. Part 6. High vibration vision statements. Words shape energy. So don't just write goals. Write statements that activate the emotion of your future. Examples. I am so grateful for the overflow of opportunity I now receive. I feel peace in my body, clarity in my mind, and power in my presence. I wake up energized, certain, and deeply aligned with my purpose. These aren't affirmations. They're declarations of frequency. They prime your body and mind to operate from the future, not the past. Part 7. Workbook integration. Elevated emotion activation scripts. In your Chapter 10 workbook, you'll find a full series of elevated emotion activation scripts. You'll write vision statements in the language of gratitude, certainty, and joy. You'll create emotional anchors you can return to on demand. And you'll rehearse feeling the future you're stepping into until it no longer feels like the future, but like who you are now. Part 8. Closing integration. Your elevated emotion is the invitation. The universe doesn't respond to desperation. It responds to coherence. You don't need to chase the result. Just become the version of you who already has it. So take this chapter seriously. Practice feeling your future every day. Because once your body believes it, reality begins to match it. In the next chapter, we'll integrate everything you've learned, turning insight into lasting transformation and frequency into form. But for now, breathe, feel, and become what you desire. Chapter 11. Quantum Focus. Mastering Attention as Creative Power. Part 1. Your focus is your frequency. If energy flows where attention goes, then your reality is shaped by what you choose to notice. Focus is not just mental, it's magnetic. When you hold your attention on what you want, you pull it closer. When your energy is scattered, so are your results. This is why mastering focus is one of the highest levels of self-leadership. Part 2. The hidden cost of scattered energy. Let's be clear. Distraction is not just a productivity issue. It's an identity issue. Every time you allow your focus to be hijacked, you reinforce the belief that your attention is for sale, that your time, your mind, and your energy are negotiable. But they're not. Because when you fragment your focus, you dilute your power. And diluted power creates delayed results. Part 3. Where focus goes, reality flows. Think about it. You've had moments of total focus before. You were locked in. You forgot the clock. You felt momentum. That wasn't an accident. That was alignment. And when you're aligned, your actions amplify. Quantum focus is about deliberate attention on the frequency you want to live in. It's how you pull the future into the now. PA. Part 4. The energy loop of focus. Let's break it down. Focused attention gives elevated energy, gives aligned behavior, gives accelerated outcomes. Every time you direct your mind with intention, you create a current. And that current starts changing your brain chemistry, your emotional state, and eventually your external environment. Focus creates coherence, and coherence creates change. Part 5. Attention reset protocols. When you've been distracted for too long, it's time to reset. Here are a few proven ways to reboot your focus. 1. Sensory fast. Turn off music, screens, and inputs for 30 minutes. Let your nervous system recalibrate. 2. Nature immersion. 10 to 15 minutes of walking outside with no phone. Let your brain restore naturally. 3. Focus breathwork. Inhale for 4, hold for 4. Exhale for 6. Repeat for 3 minutes to ground and clear your mind. 4. The digital detox hour. 1 hour daily where all notifications and screens are off. Use this for thinking, writing, or visualizing. These resets don't just clear distraction, they rebuild inner authority. Part 6. The Power Hour Strategy. Peak focus requires design. That's why many high performers use power hours, intentional blocks of deep, uninterrupted work. Here's how to structure yours. Pre-frame ritual. Before starting, close your eyes, breathe deeply, and ask, what result am I creating in this hour? Set the environment, clear your space, remove visual clutter, turn off alerts, block the time. Use a timer, 50 minutes focus. 10 minutes recovery. Single task. Choose one needle mover and go all in. End with acknowledgement. Celebrate what you completed, even if unfinished. Momentum greater than perfection. 1 aligned hour, done with intensity, can outperform 8 distracted ones. Part 7. Workbook integration. Focus calibration map. In your Chapter 11 workbook, you'll find the focus calibration map. You'll reflect on where your attention leaks. You'll identify high energy, high impact activities. You'll build your own power hour plan and reset rituals. And you'll design a new relationship with attention. One based on intention, not reaction. Part 8. Closing integration. Your focus is your force field. Where it goes, your energy follows. Where your energy flows, your outcomes emerge. You don't need more time. You need more precision. So eliminate the leaks, reclaim the signal, and begin treating your attention like what it truly is, creative power. In the next chapter, we'll integrate the concept of inner alignment and outer congruence, ensuring every layer of your life reflects your highest frequency. But for now, choose your target and hold your focus, until reality has no choice but to follow. Chapter 12. The Field of Infinite Possibility. Accessing the Quantum Field. Part 1. The invisible space where reality begins. There is a space beyond what you see. A space beyond the 5 senses, beyond logic, beyond linear time. It's the quantum field. A space of pure energy, vibration, and possibility. And it's not out there, it's within you. This field responds not to your wishes, but to your frequency. When you learn how to access it, you shift from chasing change to becoming it. Part 2. Understanding the quantum field. Science has shown us that all matter, when broken down, is energy. And all energy exists in a field of probability until observed. In the quantum world, your focus is the observer. Your emotion is the charge. Your belief is the signal. So when you combine focused attention, elevated emotion, and inner coherence, you activate the field. This is non-local consciousness. You're no longer creating with effort, you're aligning with energy. Part 3. Why most people stay out of the field. Most people never enter this state. Not because they can't, but because they don't pause. They stay locked in stress, survival, and stimulation. They seek change on the surface, while the real shift begins in stillness. To access the field, you must go beyond the known. beyond identity, beyond thought, beyond the need to control. And this happens in presence. Part 4. Stillness, surrender, and presence. Let's break it down. Stillness is the absence of external noise. Surrender is the release of mental grip. Presence is the state of pure now where time dissolves and your energy becomes expansive. Together, these states allow your nervous system to soften, your brain waves to slow, and your heart to open. In that space, you enter the field. The field begins responding. Part 5. Meditation. The gateway to the field. Meditation isn't just relaxation. It's a technology. A bridge from beta brainwaves to alpha, theta, and beyond. It's how you leave the noise of the mind and enter the language of energy. When practiced with intention, meditation becomes a direct link to the quantum. It's in that still inner space that you begin to feel, not think, your next reality into existence. Part 6. How to meditate with quantum intent. Here's a simple framework to guide your quantum access meditation. 1. Begin with breath. Inhale slowly. Exhale fully. Let the body relax. 2. Drop into the body. Feel your heartbeat. Scan for sensation. 3. Release identity. Let go of name, role, history. Enter pure awareness. 4. Activate emotion. Recall a memory of deep gratitude or awe. Let it fill your body. 5. Hold the vision. Without force, allow your future reality to emerge. 6. Stay in the frequency. Let the feeling become your new baseline. 7. Close with presence. Return slowly, holding the elevated energy. Done daily, this practice becomes a portal. Not just to calm, but to creation. Part 7. Workbook Integration. Quantum Access Meditation Script Plus Tracker. In your Chapter 12 workbook, you'll find a full Quantum Access Meditation script. Use it daily or weekly to train your body to enter the field. You'll also receive an integration tracker to document your emotional state before and after each session, the visions received, and the shifts noticed in your external world. Over time, you'll see a pattern. Inner alignment creates outer acceleration. Part 8. Closing integration. You are not limited by circumstance. You are limited by your access to possibility. And possibility is found in the field. Stillness is the doorway. Emotion is the language. Presence is the frequency. You are not here to react. You are here to remember. You are a creator. Practice entering the field again and again, until it becomes your natural state, and your life begins to reflect the infinite. In the final chapter, we'll bring everything full circle, integrating your quantum identity and vision into daily momentum. But for now, slow down, tune in, and return to the field. Chapter 13. Collapse the old, letting go of the version that can't go further. Part 1. You cannot take the old you into the new reality. There's a version of you that got you this far, but it won't take you any further. That version was built in survival, fueled by old beliefs, driven by fear, approval, or protection. It was necessary, but now it's obsolete. You can't upgrade your life while clinging to outdated identity. The breakthrough comes when you collapse the old and choose to rise as who you truly are. Part 2. Why shedding is essential to becoming. Growth is not just addition, it's subtraction, it's release. It's the unlearning of who you thought you had to be, so you can become who you're here to be. If your external reality hasn't shifted, look at what you're still carrying. The identity, the role, the story. Shedding isn't failure, it's freedom. Part 3. Letting go is not losing, it's releasing what's complete. When a timeline is complete, holding on to it creates drag. That drag becomes confusion, resistance, and exhaustion. But when you let it go, consciously you make room. Room for clarity. Room for momentum. Room for the future to enter. This is not abandonment. It's honoring. You're not rejecting your past self. You're thanking them and moving forward. Part 4. How to close old timelines with respect and power. Here's a 4-step process to close old identities, stories, or paths. 1. Name it. Be honest about what version of you is no longer aligned. 2. Thank it. Acknowledge what that version helped you learn or survive. 3. Release it. Say goodbye with love, not judgment. 4. Replace it. Consciously choose a new identity, energy, or truth. This isn't a one-time event, it's a sacred practice. Each time you collapse the old, you claim more of your power. Part 5. Practical detachment techniques. Here are tools you can use to detach energetically from what no longer serves. Cord-cutting visualization. Close your eyes and imagine releasing energetic ties to the old version of you. Release letter. Write a letter from your old self to your current self, then burn or bury it as a symbol of release. Mirror ritual. Look into a mirror and declare, I now release the version of me that can't go further. Conscious unfollowing. Unfollow content, habits, or relationships that reinforce outdated identities. Detachment doesn't mean indifference. It means devotion to truth. Part 6. Workbook integration. Release and reclaim ritual template. In your Chapter 13 workbook, you'll find a guided release and reclaim ritual. You'll identify the identity or story you're letting go of. You'll thank it with depth and reverence. And you'll declare what you're reclaiming in its place. Your power, your vision, your future. This ritual is a turning point. Because when you stop negotiating with the past, you step fully into the now. Part 7. Closing integration. You are not your wounds. You are not your history. You are not the roles you played to stay safe. You are presence. You are potential. And you are no longer available for playing small. So release the old timeline. Reclaim the frequency of your future self. And rise without apology. In the final chapter, we'll lock in your transformation with integration rituals, momentum systems, and quantum reinforcement strategies. But for now, let go. You're ready. Chapter 14. Future Self-Embodiment. Living as if now. Part 1. This is the chapter where it all comes together. You've shifted identity. You've rewired perception. You've aligned thought, emotion, and frequency. You've released the past. Now it's time to live as the version of you who already has the life you've been designing. This is not about pretending. It's about practicing. It's about pulling your future self into the present moment and living from that energy now. Part 2. The Embodiment Principle. Here's the truth. The universe doesn't respond to what you say you want. It responds to who you are being. And who you are being is determined by what you consistently embody through emotion, language, posture, and presence. Embodiment means your inner and outer world are congruent with your desired reality. Not someday, now. Part 3. Why embodiment accelerates manifestation. When you live as your future self now, you collapse the timeline. You create a resonance that tells your brain, your body, and the quantum field, this is who I am. And when identity shifts, reality follows. Because you no longer send out mixed signals. You radiate coherence, and coherence is magnetic. Part 4. The power of language, posture, and environment. Let's break it down. Language. What does your future self say to themselves? What do they say out loud? What words no longer exist in their vocabulary? Posture. How do they walk into a room? How do they sit, breathe, move? What energy do they bring into every space? Environment. What surrounds them? What have they released from their space? What anchors and activates their frequency daily? Everything around you is either reinforcing your past self or aligning you with your future. Part 5. From acting as if to being it now. Acting as if is a powerful start. But embodiment is deeper. It's not a mask, it's emerging. It's not about faking confidence or forcing habits. It's about choosing alignment, moment by moment. Asking yourself in every decision, what would my future self do right now? And then, doing it. Not to earn the life, but to claim it. Part 6. Embodiment in daily micro moments. You don't have to wait for a big opportunity to become your future self. It happens in the smallest choices. The way you speak when no one's listening. The boundaries you hold with your time and energy. The thoughts you choose when fear shows up. The rituals you keep even when no one is watching. Your future self isn't a goal, it's a frequency. And when you match it, you become it. Part 7. Workbook Integration. Future Self-Integration Plan. In your Chapter 14 workbook, you'll create your future self-integration plan. You'll define the language, posture, habits, and environment of your elevated identity. You'll write a declaration of who you are becoming. And you'll map micro-actions that lock in the shift. Not once, daily. Part 8. Final Integration. You are not waiting for your future. You are becoming it. Every choice is a vote for who you want to be. So choose with clarity, walk with certainty, speak with power, and live with frequency. You've completed this journey, but this is just the beginning. Because the quantum self doesn't live in delay. They live in decision. So decide now who you are. And then live like it's already done. Because in the quantum, it is. Chapter 15. Engineering the Next 90 Days. Part 1. This is where vision becomes structure. You've rewired your mindset. You've realigned your identity. You've released the outdated and embodied the elevated. Now it's time to build, not randomly. Strategically, the next 90 days are your sacred window of creation. Not from hustle, but from frequency, clarity, and alignment. Part 2. Strategic goal setting from identity, not lack. Most people set goals from a place of lack. I need this to feel whole. If I achieve that, then I'll be enough, but not you. You've activated your quantum identity. You're creating from fullness. So your 90-day goals aren't about fixing something broken. They're about expressing who you already are. They are extensions of the version of you you've chosen to become. This shift alone changes everything. Part 3. The power of the 90-day sprint. Why 90 days? Because it's long enough to build momentum, yet short enough to stay focused. A 90-day container gives your mind a finish line. It creates urgency without panic. It builds trust in your own follow-through. It also allows for iteration. You don't need a 5-year plan. You need 90 days of aligned execution. Part 4. Quantum-aligned sprint planning. Here's how to build your 90-day sprint. Step 1. Start with identity. Who are you being for the next 90 days? Step 2. Choose 1, 2, 3 outcomes that express that identity. Step 3. Break them down into milestones. Step 4. Infuse energy rituals, mindset recalibrations, and daily anchors into the process. Step 5. Define your non-negotiables, habits, and decisions that reinforce your new identity. Step 6. Schedule weekly check-ins, not to criticize, but to recalibrate. This isn't about pressure, it's about presence. Part 5. How to track momentum and measure energy. Traditional tracking is all about productivity, but you're playing at a higher level. So in your workbook, you'll track not just tasks, but frequency. You'll measure emotional alignment. You'll note moments of coherence, breakthroughs, inner resistance, and identity shifts. Why? Because that's where the real momentum lives. Energy first, outcome second. Part 6. Reflective checkpoints. Every 30 days, pause. Look inward. Ask yourself, am I living from identity or reactivity? Is this outcome still aligned with who I'm becoming? What am I avoiding that's asking to be integrated? What have I embodied that now feels effortless? Use your reflection to refine, not to judge, but to expand. Growth is not linear. It's spiral. You are not circling back, you're spiraling up. Part 7. Workbook Integration. 90-Day Quantum Planner Template. In your Chapter 15 workbook, you'll architect your next 90 days. You'll start with an identity declaration. You'll set 1, 2, 3 quantum-aligned goals. You'll break them down by month and week tracking, not just outcomes, but the frequency behind the action. And you'll schedule weekly reflection points. This becomes your new operating system, one that moves with your energy, not against it. Part 8. Closing Integration. You are now your own architect. No longer waiting. No longer reacting. You are creating on command. With clarity, with power, with presence. So take this next 90-day container and engineer your evolution. Let your life reflect the inner shift. Not someday. Now, it's time. Chapter 16. Integration. Becoming the architect of your life. Part 1. This is the integration, the moment where it all fuses. Mindset, belief, energy, identity, habits. You are no longer collecting tools. You are becoming the architect who uses them. This chapter isn't just a conclusion, it's a portal. The portal into the version of you who doesn't just consume transformation, they create it. Part 2. Bringing it all together. Let's reflect on what you've embodied through this journey. You understand that your thoughts, emotions, and beliefs shape your reality. You've rewritten your identity and aligned your self-concept with your highest truth. You've learned to perceive from possibility, not limitation. You've released the past self, elevated your frequency, and designed rituals to anchor your quantum future. You've engineered your next 90 days with conscious clarity. Now it's time to integrate. Part 3. Integration is activation. Integration means you don't need to remember every lesson because it's in your bones now. You walk differently. You speak with more precision. You make decisions from your elevated identity. You act from your future self's wisdom. You are not waiting to be ready. You are leading from the inside out. Part 4. How to continuously expand from this foundation. This audiobook was never the end. It was a launch pad. Here's how to keep expanding. Revisit your workbooks every 30 to 60 days. Adjust your vision based on what you now believe is possible. Surround yourself with high-frequency environments, people, and spaces. Keep releasing what no longer aligns, even if it once served you. Practice radical self-honesty without shame, only sovereignty. Evolution doesn't end, but it does get easier when your identity leads. Part 5. Final activation. The quantum commitment. Say this with me. I am no longer becoming. I am now being. This is your full body, energetic yes. You are no longer running outdated code. You are consciously designing the operating system. You are aware. You are aligned. You are activated. And from this moment forward, you architect your world from within. Part 6. Workbook Integration, Personal Manifesto, and Legacy Map. In your final workbook, you'll write your personal manifesto. A declaration of who you are, what you stand for, and what you're creating. You'll craft your legacy map, detailing how you'll ripple this transformation into every area of your life. This isn't just personal development. It's quantum leadership. And your life is your message. Part 7. Closing the journey, opening the expansion. This journey has shown you what's possible. Now it's up to you to live it. Day by day. Choice by choice. Frequency by frequency. Remember, you were never broken. You were only unawakened. And now you see clearly. The architect has arrived. You are no longer the one waiting for the shift. You are the shift. This is your life. Design it powerfully. Live it unapologetically. And always remember your quantum reality is only one aligned choice away. Conclusion. This is your moment. You've done more than listen. You've expanded. You've released the limitations that no longer serve you. You've remembered your true power. You've stepped into a new operating system, one built on alignment, clarity, and quantum choice. This journey wasn't just about information. It was about transformation. You've integrated the mindset of a creator, the heart of a visionary, the discipline of a leader. You now carry the tools, rituals, and identity needed to build any future you choose, starting now. Take a breath, feel the shift. Because you've earned it, and the world will feel it. Let this be your reminder. You are the architect of your life. Every thought you think, every emotion you feel, every aligned action you take creates ripple effects far beyond what you can see. So trust your knowing. Walk forward with certainty. And lead with presence. As you move into your next chapter, stay connected to the practices that elevated you. Use your companion workbooks to reflect, track, and realign. They're yours, completely free with every chapter. If this journey moved you, supported you, or awakened something in you, consider supporting the ongoing creation of powerful, high-frequency content with a contribution. Every bit helps fuel the mission, and most importantly, stay connected. This isn't just a personal journey, it's a movement. Join the conversation. Share your breakthroughs, your transformations, your insights. We're building a community of conscious creators who choose to rise together. So if this audiobook helped activate you, share it, pass the spark. Be the reason someone else begins their own evolution, because transformation is contagious, and it starts with us. Thank you for being here. Thank you for becoming. Now go create what only you can. This has been Engineering Your Reality with Quantum Mindset Shifts, brought to you by Top 1% Audiobook. Until next time, keep expanding.